First round sleepers do exist. It's how small market teams with small wallets are able to have superstar players play for them without having to trade and spend an insane amount of money on them. When you think of previous first round sleepers, you can't help but remember Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Klay Thompson. Those are superstar players and organization-changing ballers that can put a team into NBA title contention. Most recently, and with more time to evaluate, Tyler Hero and Michael Porter Jr. to join the list of names mentioned just above and help their team get to the top of the NBA mountain. Tyler Hero and Michael Porter Jr. became young breakout stars in the NBA bubble and have outplayed their draft number. Hero was picked with the number 13th pick in 2019 and has become a key player on the Miami Heat's team who made it to the NBA Finals most recently. Michael Porter Jr. went number 14 to the Denver Nuggets in 2018, where the New York Knicks stupidly glossed over him, and Porter had an impressive showing in the bubble where he averaged 11.4 points and 6.7 rebounds per game. These two young and flashy guns could be future superstars in time, and if their drafts were redone now, I'm sure they would be going a lot higher. But with the NBA draft creeping up in November, teams have had a lot of extra time to watch film, gather intel, and assess all the draft options. With that said, we have too. But before we jump in, please remember that if you enjoyed the video thus far and want to hear more about potential first round sleepers who can possibly make an immediate impact and help their team in a playoff push, please remember to hit the like, subscribe button, and make sure to tell your friends and family about the journey we are about to embark on. Now, let's dive in. The first player is Kira Lewis Jr. Kira is looking at a draft range of roughly between 13th and 24th overall. The 6'3" guard averaged 15.9 points and 4 assists per game in his 2 seasons at Alabama. He's quick off the jump. His game will translate well in the NBA thanks to his movement off the ball. The young man turned 19 in April and could be a young, shifty playmaker in the lane along with his solid 3-point shooting. So why Lewis Jr.? He's really quick. If there's a team that needs some speed and agility, he can help that squad out. And why is he a sleeper in the upcoming NBA draft? He's young, fast, and loves to cut to the hoop. This is important as cutting to the hoop is not something everyone loves or can do. His hustle will be able to create plays, and he could be a great player off the bench. Next is Jaden McDaniels. McDaniels' draft range is projected to be between 13th through 20th overall. McDaniels stands at a towering 6 foot 10 inches tall with a near 7 foot wingspan. Jaden has the physical attributes of an NBA superstar, even though his 1 year at Washington didn't reflect that. McDaniels has the potential to be between a blend of Kevin Durant and Brandon Ingram, or he could end up like his older brother, Jalen McDaniels. Jaden is a big question mark and definitely wouldn't make a big impact right now, but then again, when there's a high risk, there's also a high reward in drafting a player like him. He shot a measly 25% from 3-point range this season, but in the right system and coaching staff, McDaniels could flourish, but there's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding his game. So why McDaniels? It's that he's a high-risk reward prospect we all love to gravitate to, kind of like Michael Porter Jr. And why is he a pick to be a sleeper in the draft? He has the pedigree for the NBA as it runs in his family with his brother. In today's NBA, guys are getting bigger, more athletic, skillful. With work down the line, he has that potential. Next on our list is Josh Green. Green's draft range is between 16th and 25th overall. Green played 1 year in Arizona after his unfortunate injury. Josh was fresh off recovering from a torn labrum in his left shoulder and just couldn't find his game during the season. With injuries, something takes a little longer to find your rhythm. With that being said, the longer than unusual season and draft time might actually be a good thing for the young man. It is said that he has put on 10 pounds of muscle and grown half an inch, coming at 6'6" and 220 pounds. Plus, Green has spent the past 4 months working out with fellow draft prospect Tyrese Halliburton, Malik Flynn, Devin Doston, Reggie Pierre, Ashton Higgins, and Tyler Bay. Doing this improves the young man's confidence, and it also helps him continue to play against younger, hungrier players who will help guide him over his injury. So why Green? Physically, he's NBA ready. He has improved confidence in his jump shot and working on creating space in ISO situations. Green could see playing early time next season, and why is it a pick to be a sleeper in the draft? He's still growing into his body with a big upside. Having more time to recover from his injury, work on his body, and train, he could be a steal in the upcoming draft for an NBA team. Next sleeper is Malik Flynn. Flynn's draft range is in the first round between 18th and 30th. Flynn gets comparison to Fred VanVleet. No player in this draft class fits the mold better than Flynn. Like VanVleet, Flynn is a mid-major prospect with a similar build and a high basketball IQ. However, San Diego State didn't have much competition outside the Mountain West this year, and it's difficult for teams to predict how Flynn will fare against players at the NBA level. But let's not forget that this is the same school Kawhi Leonard played at, so maybe there could be a repeat of history with this pick. The 6'1" guard has a fantastic outside jump shot, Flynn made a whopping 76 3-pointers this season. Guards who excel in reading the pick and roll option have an advantage over other players when adjusting to the speed and spacing at the NBA level. Flynn could end up being a late steal in the first round as scouts draw comparison to Van Fleet and Dallas Mavericks guard Seth Curry. So why Flynn? His skill and basketball intelligence is quite impressive, and this is why he is the pick to be the sleeper in the draft, because his deep shot is the perfect fit for today's NBA and could complement an already deep squad like the Clippers. Lastly, there's RJ Hampton. He is looking at a draft range of 11th to 20th overall. Hampton's last game was in early January of this year, playing for the New Zealand Breakers in Australia's National Basketball League. Hampton stands at 6'5" and plays guard. RJ only played 15 games overseas, averaging 8.8 points and 3.9 boards. However, during this long layoff for the past 10 months, Hampton has been in the gym with Penny Hardaway and Mike Miller. Not too bad for a young prospect to work out with two NBA legends. Mike Miller, one of the best three-point shooters to ever play the game, has been working with RJ on his jump shot and jump shot selection. Hampton only averaged 29.5% from the three-point line for the New Zealand Breakers, and this extended time off could be the key in Hampton's sneaky development as a shooter. So why Hampton? He's one of those prospects who's been playing against grown men. You never underestimate that experience for a young man. And why is he a pick to be a sleeper in the draft? When you're getting privately coached in the gym daily by two NBA legends, you can only get better. We hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know which one of these players you think will be a first round sleeper who can make an immediate impact on an NBA team. Check out some of these videos that appear on your screen.